What's going on, people? I hope everybody is cool, man. So, I wanted to hop on here real quick and give my 2 cents on this entire Rodney Hinton situation. Okay. Now, for those who don't know, Rodney Hinton recently took the life of a cop in retaliation for his son's death, who was murdered by cops. Okay. Now, the cop that Rodney Hinton unalived, he was not the cop that unalived his son. He was just a random cop. And Rodney Hinton killed some random cop in retaliation of his son's death. Okay? Now, many people online are supporting Rodney Hinton. They stand in support of him, saying, hey, a cop killed his son. He in return kills a cop, and we stand with him. Okay. He has a lot of support online, but there are a few people saying, hey, what Rodney Hinton did was wrong because the cop that he killed was not the cop that took the life of his son. So therefore, we don't stand with him. I want you all to check out this clip of a guy saying, hey, what Rodney Hinton did was wrong because the cop he killed was not the cop that killed his son. And therefore, I am not standing with him. I want you all to check out this clip of a guy saying that. And then I'm going to be back with my commentary. But stick around because I'm definitely going somewhere with it. Check out this video clip.
As a Hispanic father, I get the rage. But this isn't the way. I have a son. And if my son was unalived by the cops, you'd have to hold me back from burning down the whole world too. So I feel for this gentleman. I really do. That kind of grief, that kind of loss, it scrambles your soul. But you just can't go out and unalive a cop who had nothing to do with your son's death. That's not justice. That's blind rage. And now another family's burying their father. A good man just doing his job. You ever seen a father try to stay strong at his son's funeral? I have. And now, I've seen it go the other way too. Two families ripped apart. One by a bullet, and one by revenge. Pain doesn't give us a pass to become killers. It gives us a choice. What kind of man you want to be when the world breaks you.
All right, now you all just heard that, right? The guy was making it clear, hey, I'm not supporting Rodney Hinton because he killed a random cop, not the cop that killed his son. So therefore, I do not stand with him. That's what the guy in the video clip was saying. He was saying Rodney Hinton is wrong for what he did. Now, listen, I agree. I agree that Rodney Hinton is wrong for what he did. Now, let me break this all the way down for y'all so we can understand this through the lens of God's word and street justice. In this video, I'm going to differentiate between the two, okay? Because what Rodney Hinton did was not God's justice, it was street justice, all right? And what he did, it just shows that the world is a very, very, very scary place. Let me break it down. See, the cop that Rodney Hinton killed wasn't even the one that killed his son, but the cop just wore the same uniform as the one who killed his son. All right. And now I know some people are saying, well, that's what the cop gets. Right. But that's not God's way. That's not God's justice. That's street justice. See, Romans 12:19 says, quote, do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, thus said the Lord, unquote, right? That means it's not on us to decide who gets what, right? God saw what happened to Rodney's son. He's not blind, but when we step into that role, taking justice into our own hands, especially against the wrong person, we cross into dangerous territory, right? As if we are God, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest. Again, what Rodney did, in my opinion, was wrong, all right? What he did was wrong. However, I understand the pain. I get the anger that Rodney Hinton felt. Listen, I've never lost a son and I can understand the pain. It has to be very, very unbearable, tragic, disheartening, right? It has to be. It has to be. It has to take you into a different mindset of, it has to take you into a mindset of revenge, retaliation, murder, right? It has to. I get the anger. But Rodney Hinton shedded innocent blood, right? Now, if you go to Proverbs 6:16, 17, it tells us there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable unto him. One of them things is hands that shed innocent blood. The officer that Rodney killed didn't kill his son. He was just a part of the system that killed his son. And that's where the line between God's justice and street justice comes into play. You have to stick around. I'm going somewhere. All right. Now listen, I'm a devout Christian, right? I'm a devout Christian. I believe in God's word. All right. But God also gave me wisdom and discernment. And that's how I know the difference between God's justice and street justice. Many people are looking at what Rodney did from God's justice, not street justice. They're trying to judge what Rodney did from God's justice. But Rodney wasn't operating from God's justice. He was operating from street justice. This just shows the world is a very, very scary place. See, let me break it down. Street justice says you take mine, I take yours. And it don't even matter if you are the one who actually took mine. But if you are a part of the same crew, the same gang, the same organization, then guess what? You're fair game, right? That's how the streets work, right? That's why in gang retaliation, someone's brother, someone's cousin, or someone's mother can have their life taken in retaliation for what somebody they are related to did, right? That's how it goes in the streets. Right? A mother, a cousin, a brother, a close friend can be killed just because they are affiliated with somebody who did something, right? Example, man. You got a rival gang member who kills somebody's homie, and then that gang member hops a flight to, Alabama to get away from the retaliation kick, right? But then that gang member who hopped the flight to Alabama, he leaves behind one of his homies, right? Well, according to the streets, that homie becomes fair game, right? We can't get the one who actually did it, but I'm going to get the one that's affiliated with you. I'm going to get the one that's affiliated with the one who did it. You see what I'm saying? That's not God's justice. That's street justice. You have to be able to differentiate between the two, right? God's justice is different. God's justice is slow sometimes. It's spiritual. It's eternal. God doesn't miss, but some people feel that it's slow, right? That's what some people feel. And it's always better. Problem is, not everybody believes that. Not everybody is a believer. Not everybody believes in God, right? Listen, that's why we have to stay prayed up out here. Right? We got to. Because when folks don't trust God's justice, they go looking for their own justice, their own revenge. And that revenge ain't surgical. It's messy, it's emotional, and sometimes innocent people can die in the process. That's why we need to be careful. This situation just shows that the world is a very scary place. That's why we need to be careful about the organizations we join, right? The badges we wear, the crews we run with. Because if you wear that label and somebody else in your group does dirt, you might be the one to get hit in their place. This is the way of the world. This just shows that the world is a very scary place. This situation with Rodney just showed us how real that is. The cop that Rodney killed ain't the one who pulled the trigger on his son, but He wore the badge. He represented the system Rodney blamed, and so Rodney responded with vengeance, not justice from God. He responded with vengeance. And that's scary because you never know who you may be running with, who has done something to somebody, who somebody feel has wronged them in a way, etc. Right? And they like, well, I can't get to the person who actually did it, but there go his boy right there who's affiliated with that dude. So, well, I'm just going to get his boy. You have to be careful about who you're running with and the organizations that you become a part of. The Rodney Hinton situation just proved and it showed that the world is a very scary place. That's why we got to be covered in prayer, because you never know who's out here plotting retaliation, vengeance, or anger-filled attacks, right? You might not even be the target, but someone sees you as part of the problem, right? That's why Ephesians 6:11 tells us, put on the full armor of God so that you may take your stand against the devil's schemes, right? The enemy loves confusion. He loves when folks act off of pain instead of purpose. And he'll use that to destroy families, communities, and lives, right? You have to be prayed up out here. Be mindful of who you're joining, who you're running with, who you are affiliated with, who you become friends with, etc. Does this person always have beef with people? Does he have a good reputation? Does this organization have a good reputation, etc.? Are people out to get them? Are people out to harm them? Well, what they do? Who's out to... You have to be mindful of all of that, because if you join something, right, that doesn't have a good reputation, you may have to bear the blame of what somebody did in your organization. What's the takeaway? Don't confuse God's justice with your own feelings. Don't think that because you're hurting, it gives you the right to hurt someone else. And also, don't assume you're safe just because you're innocent. Dude, come on, man. That's a bar. If you wear the colors of something bigger, someone might come for you. Not. And I'm going to leave you all with this, man. For those who walk wicked paths, hey, you're going to fall. Proverbs 11:5 says, the wickedness of the wicked will destroy them. The wicked, their own wickedness will destroy them. God sees all. And in the end, he gets the last word. Stay wise and stay prayed up and be mindful and be careful of who you're running with. All right. To God be the glory, man. Jesus Christ is Lord. I'm gone. Peace.